Welcome to News Echoes. Today, we're going to give you so many issues to be discussed and understand from. And I'm telling you, I'm excited what is going to happen today. And we're having a guest speaker in our midst, and it's going to be wonderful. So I'm really, really looking forward today. My name is Sheikh Johnson, and I have in the studio with me my colleagues around Europe. The first person I'm going to introduce today is an in-house researcher, Ambassador Nat Yako. Ambassador Nat, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you very much and good morning.
We have our own well-known veteran journalist and educationist, Dr. Osita Anyemeka. You're welcome to the program. Dr. Osita is in Abuja, Nigeria, and is with us. I guess he will say hello in a moment. But in nearby Milan in Italy is a man, Mark Godwin. Mark, you are welcome to the program.
Good morning, Dr. Shagun. Good morning to our viewers also. Thank
Yes,
you.
we hope the network will work for Dr. Sita in a minute, and we will receive him very soon. Also, like I told you, we'll be having a guest speaker, but let's start right now. The Queen's Premium Jubilee. Everyone knows the Queen all over the world, and she has just made a record. 70 years on the throne of her father. Nobody has made that. She had looked forward to this date and to commemorate the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. She said that there will be a Queen consort of Camilla, the wife of Prince Charles, when Prince Charles becomes the king. And I think she's trying to set up a constitutional point here. All along, many people have been saying that Camilla will not be the queen consort, but the princess consort. But now the queen said that she's going to be the queen consort. Now, we live in a country without a written constitution. So they look at traditions and decisions and make it part of their unwritten constitution. So we're going to have Queen Camilla, Queen consort, to King Charles. When that King Charles will be, I do not know. Only the Queen, maybe the Queen want to abdicate. I don't know. Maybe or until she passes away. I don't know. But one thing that we've been told is that Queen Camilla is on the way and still loading. Nat, you are the one living in central London. Please tell us more.
Well, the Queen's announcement, I really don't know what she wanted to achieve. We have wished her well at 95 and 70 years on the throne of her, her people. And when she now, because earlier on, what is his name? Prince Charles had told the world that Camilla will not be addressed as queen, but as princess consort. And for the queen to now come and choke in that in her platinum celebrations has triggered off a lot of sentiments. Actually, it has taken us back to almost 25 years or thereabout when Princess Diana died, the
Mm.
first wife of Charles. And for some of us who can remember, it was a turbulent time even for not only for the Queen but even the monarchy in the UK, because people
Mm.
thought she was nonchalant. She wasn't sympathizing enough. She stayed away. I think she was either in Sandringham or somewhere else, and had to. The prime minister then, Tony Blair, had to like tell her, if you don't come, then forget it. You are going to be chased out of the of Buckingham Palace. And she came, appeared in the public, and made a statement. So this
Mm.
statement again, it provokes emotions.
Mm.
Let Diana, may her soul rest in peace, is still the queen in people's heart, and they still cherish her life and times. And so this is the situation we find ourselves. People are still reacting, and I'm sure people will
Mm.
continue to react. Uh, Prince Charles, you remember that once he makes a statement, he should keep to it. You don't use you're not an all-weather king. You won't be an all-weather king, and you cannot be king for all faiths. UK is not an all-faith state. UK is known for being a Christian country, so sent out missionaries, and you
Yeah.
don't come and start, taking us back. I mean, taking us back to those old many years.
Let me ask Osita, Dr. Osita in Abuja, Nigeria. Dr. Osita, are you with us now? Yes. How are you taking the situation of the Queen's Platinum Jubilee in Nigeria? The Queen is the Queen of UK and Commonwealth, and it means a lot to us here. But I don't know how you guys are taking it in Nigeria. Do we have Osita on?
Yeah, no, Dr. Sita is, I think he
Okay,
has got.
let me pass the question to you then, Mark. How is
Yeah,
Europe taking it? Italy, France, Germany, Spain? How are you taking Queen Camilla? Because, like Ambassador Nat just said, we were told when Diana died and Charles married Camilla, and you know the story behind it all, how the marriage was crowded and all the rest. Now, all of a sudden, the Queen is in favor of Camilla being the next Queen. That's something interesting.
well, what matters is plans have been made, announcement has been made to the Queen's Jubilee uh,
Mm,
weekend and 2022. And we are monitoring it from here. There will be a year-long platinum Jubilee celebration throughout the United Kingdom. And
mm.
the Commonwealth and many countries around the world will be celebrating the Queen's historic reign. 70 years is not it's not a child's thing.
It's not a
It's
joke. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
yes, yes. So the Queen has become the first British monarch to celebrate a platinum jubilee, and this means that she has fared so well for 70 years. The kingdom has been held together by her, and
Mm.
Commonwealth also has flourished under her reign. The Commonwealth is where it affects the other parts of the world. Yeah,
English speaking countries, isn't it?
yes, English speaking countries. There will be a lot that will be going on. We are watching now.
Mark,
Talking
let me Mark, let
the
me just tell you that that record is difficult to break. Now,
yeah,
Charles is about 69 or 70, so he
yeah,
cannot reign till 140 years old. It's too
that's
late.
correct. That's
Now Williams is 40 years, isn't it? Or
that's
thereabout. So
yeah.
I can't see him live till 110 years old. So even if he becomes the king today, so that record is going to be difficult to be cleared. And the queen had always wanted to have this record. I don't know why, but
Mm,
she's so happy. She's so happy. I don't know what is attached to this record. I think she's fulfilled. She's happy. She's made it. Her name is in the book of records, probably forever. Are you getting it? The queen who reigned for 70 years. That will be on the Guinness Book of Record forever. So I think
forever,
she wanted it, and there it is.
forever. That
Yeah,
this is really awesome.
yeah,
Um,
it's a big
well,
one.
yeah, it's a big one. There are lined up competition for this celebration. There's an interesting part that we like from here. Italians, we like the baking competition. You know,
Oh yeah, we're gonna have a and it's gonna be a street party here in London.
the street party.
They're gonna
Uh,
close the road just like they do in Nigeria. Close the road for a party. I mean, we are looking for. We're gonna show them we know how to do it.
exactly, exactly. So
Okay, let's welcome our guest. Thank you very much, gentlemen. We have beautiful guests, queens in their own rights, all the way from Nigeria. Let me again receive today Barrister Juliet. Barrister Juliet was with us last week, and she's with us right now. Barrister Juliet, gone in for councillorship in Abuja. You are welcome to the program. Ah, there you are. Yes, Barrister Juliet, you are welcome to the program.
Good morning, sirs. Good to meet you
Good
all again. Thank you
morning.
very much.
Morning.
Yes, very soon you will be the
Oh,
councillor
thank you very
representing us in Abuja. Now it's my pleasure to welcome for the first time
Amen.
Chief Mrs. Raziat Abdusalam. You are welcome to the program, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Yes, we understand you are going to tell us more about women in politics in Nigeria. Yes,
Yes, it's
you
an
are most.
exciting time.
Yeah, it's
I
an
want to
exciting
say,
time. Yes, go on, ma'am.
okay, the line is not very clear. It's making noise here, but I will
Yeah.
try. And the network is not so good. But these are very exciting times. Thank you so much, Mr. Johnson and Professor
Mm.
Iako, for inviting me to this program to discuss women. These are very exciting times in Nigeria because it's been long awaited for women to get involved in politics, and
Yeah.
lately they started making a breakthrough.
And
The
we're having an
National
example of a
Assembly.
young lady with us today, Barrister Juliet, who is contesting. And she's contesting with sensibility. She didn't say, I want to be the president of Nigeria. She has taken the right step to climb the ladder. And I think we'll be talking about that. Barrister Juliet was with us last week, and she was telling us she wants to contest for the position of a councillorship in Abuja. She did not jump to say, I want to be president of Nigeria. I mean, it's really touched my heart that we have young people who want to start from the bottom of the ladder and climb up. I will come back to you, Chief Mrs. Wale, in a second, and we just want to round up with the politics going on in Europe and Britain. And the most important one that is threatening the peace of the whole world is the Russia versus Ukraine. And the whole world have taken their own sides. China on the side of Russia, and all the NATO countries on another side with Ukraine. And it looks like if care is not taken, we may run into another third world war. But we hope that will not happen. So all the leaders are running up and down. Skoll is running to Joe Biden to discuss how, that's the German chancellor, is running to Joe Biden to see how they can bring this down. And Macron was in Russia to talk to Putin. He was in Kiev to talk to their leader. And everybody is trying to resolve this matter. But Putin instead is increasing the military might around the border. Nat, you want to quickly bring us up to date on this?
Well, this tension and potential crisis has been with us now for almost a month or 1 month or thereabout, and this is also a fallout of the Cold War, and we are now having what we call cold peace, which is
I
which yeah
like that one.
yeah, which because they were supposed to have been disarmament one, disarmament two, salt one, salt two,
Mm.
strategic limitation of arms one.
Strategic arms limitation talks. Yes, go on,
Yeah,
sir.
and we thought Russia and the US had decommissioned some of their most sophisticated weapons, but Putin has proved to the world that he didn't reduce any arms in his own case. Instead, he was piling, he was investing in more arms and more arms. But what is really happening again is up till now, anybody who was somebody in the USSR he's still not happy that there was a balkanization of the USSR to so many republics now, and everybody wants to have some influence, fear of influence, territorial fears of influence, where you are the king or you are in charge, you talk and everybody catches cold. So
But is it not too late now? USSR has been balkanized. It's too late, and and Russia has taken Crimea. They want to take Ukraine. It doesn't work like that, does it?
yeah, but what is really happening is that you see, USSR must have been balkanized into so many other countries, but these other small countries like Belarus and those countries who share common border with Russia, they are afraid of Putin because, as you said, what he did to Crimea, he just annexed them. He just woke up one day and rolled in his tanks,
Mm.
Georgia and all these other places. And so, even if they are not still part of the USSR, they are not free to associate with the West, Western democracies, and this is what
Okay.
Putin is.
Let me put it to Mark.
realizing.
Let me put it to Mark. Mark, the position
Yes.
of Russia is that the West is trying to pile up weapons in Ukraine, and Ukraine is too close to Russia. I mean, if they fired one nuclear weapon from Ukraine, it takes 7 minutes to land in Moscow, and Russia says we can't have that one. Therefore, let's station our troops at the border of Ukraine. Not that we want to invade them. In fact, they are almost invading. In fact, there is a war in Ukraine as we speak against the anti-government there. But then the most importantly for you, Mark, is that Macron has gone to meet Putin, and Putin said nothing with that the position has not changed. The German Chancellor Kohl had gone to America to discuss what to be done. Nothing is happening. So are we in danger? Is Russia right? Is the Americans, are they right? Or are we in danger? It appears Europe cannot do anything, can they?
Europe has done what it can do, and that is having Macron go there. But you see, Putin is an egoistic man. Presently, he sees all European leaders as young, small boys and girls. He sees everybody as his little children. You know, he doesn't see them as players in the negotiation table. Imagine having Macron and sitting him distance apart and talking to him like a very little boy, you know. So what is happening there is a show of power. What is happening there is Russia trying to tell the world they are the machine, the country to reckon with, and it's not going on well. We all know that this might escalate further. Putin has been told by some generals to back up, but he's not listening. We just hope that things don't go more than it's going now. Thank you very much, Dr.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. Is Osita back with us?
No, sir. No, no.
Okay, we'll still be trying. But let me just hear the views from our fellow Nigerians in Nigeria. If what should happen is going to affect the whole world, like we saw in First World War and Second World War. Even if we don't participate in the physical fighting, we will be touched by the prices that will go up, will be touched by the insecurity and lack of peace in the rest of the world. The United Nations will draw men to go and fight Putin or create peace. Therefore, everyone should be concerned. Let me ask from our fellow Nigerians. Let me start with Barrister Juliet. Barrister Juliet, is anybody discussing this in Nigeria at all?
Okay, I think
She's not there. How about Chief
yes,
Lila? Is
we're,
Chief
we're,
is
hav-
Chief Abu Salam there?
we're having network issues all around. Um, okay, go ahead, sir. Yes,
Yeah, so we don't have them there.
yes. I think it's
Okay,
networking.
network. Ambassador Nat. It's a very serious and crucial issue that the whole world may be embroiled in an eventual war. How do you think we tackle this?
Well, the world is now a global village, and there is always one relationship or the other with other nations
Mm,
through the UN or through other world organizations. And definitely, if there's any definitely if there's any breakout of a war today, we are not even talking of Third World War. The Third World War has already started in installments. There are wars now that have been on for as many years as we can think of. And so if there is a trigger for a larger confrontation, it is the developing world that even will suffer more. The US have strategic reserves. Most countries in Europe will have their own strategic reserves. In Africa, we don't have anything, and
mm.
we will suffer more. And with that attempt, we know that Russia has been making attempts to get a footing in Africa as a continent, and some countries. And so it's a war at this moment is not going to be in anybody's interest. We still have to negotiate and see how these issues can be solved with minimum damage to already
Okay.
fragile situation.
Okay. Thank you very much. Well, we'll just leave it like that, and we probably, of course, we have to still come back to it next week, depending on what will have happened in the next 1 week. Uh, just before we go on break, let's talk about what is going on in the British politics. It appears that Boris Johnson is still reshuffling his cabinet to sustain power. And on the other hand, is a mentioning of Jimmy Savile issue is taking another turn. The right wing, they're now ready to fight. They're ready to fight the labor leader, and so we have that problem. We have that problem. So what are we? What is going on in the British politics, Ambassador? Now,
Okay. I mean, it's. I think it is. What the prime minister is trying to do is to uh, distract people from the challenges that have come out of the Partygate report, and then what the police are doing at the moment. And Boris Johnson to have mentioned Savile, in the House of Commons last week.
was below the belt.
Yes, I think the 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 it wasn't the right moment to make such statements, not the right place even to start with, and
Mm.
he has refused to apologize for such statements. And so, for a prime minister of the UK to make such statements and is not ready to withdraw the statement or apologize, I think he's just equipping he's equipping Labour and other, even his own MPs. The number of people submitting letters for vote of no confidence have increased. The MPs, the numbers have
But
increased.
nobody is telling us about the number now. We need
Yeah,
to know the number.
I think initially most of them don't want their names to be mentioned in the public.
Yeah.
It's only the committee that is it committee.
1922 committee. No, only one of the leader in 1922 committee.
Yeah, 1922 commission is the one now who knows the exact number of people who have submitted
Mm.
letters. Johnson himself may not know, and the party itself, the
Mm.
Tory party, the Conservative Party, are also piling pressure on the Prime Minister to go before more damage is done to the
The
party
party.
and more
Mm.
damage to national life, because nothing is working. The
No, nothing. No
hospital,
governance at the moment. No.
NHS waiting list, we have been told is going to keep rising maybe for the next 1 or 2 years. And if there is anything at all, the health of the nation, the health of the people is a priority for them.
Wow, this is very serious. This is very serious. So when I look at Putin not responding to them, I mean, to the European leaders. I mean, look at Boris Johnson, is a lame duck prime minister. Look at Macron, is a lame duck president because of there's going to be election and the poll is not in his favor at all. So it's like these people who are troubling me, why should I listen to them? And these are challenging times. Well, uh, I think it's a good time to go on break. And when we return, we want to discuss issues affecting Nigeria. We will start with the AFCON, just concluded continental soccer tournament that's just been concluded, and we're going to give kudos to who kudos be deserved and the rest. And eh, let's just go on a break right now, and we hopefully bring our guests back to the studio. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Ye- Um, Dr. Shagun, we're having very strong network issues, very strong technical of hitch. But can you hear me?
Absolutely well. We can continue the program then, can we?
Yes, we can. Please, sorry for this is what happens when you're um when there are technical problems. So we
Yeah.
can't be very 100% sure of the networking and the technicality. Yes, go ahead, sir. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well,
Uh,
I just
and
want to know whether
now
Barrister.
we have the guests also. We have all the
Okay.
guests.
All right, that's good to know. You're welcome back, Chief Mrs. Rylat Abdulsalam. I'm so glad. Let's just use this moment to ask you to tell us about yourself. The whole world will want to know you, and they want to also hear from you what work you are doing concerning women in politics. Chief Mrs. Rylat Abdulsalam, please go ahead.
Um, Doctor Mr. Johnson, I can't hear anything.
Oh, you can't hear anything.
Yes,
I'm
now
just
I
trying to see that.
read that. I didn't know the question you put to me.
The question is, you are involved in women in politics in Nigeria.
Yes,
So
yes.
tell us more about that.
Oh, okay. Involving women in politics is an organization that was created or founded by myself and a few of my very intellectual friends to increase the participation of women in governance, in leadership, and most especially in politics, and to advocate against violence against women during the political climate, because we always get that during election period too, and also to create programs in which we can empower women, because we find out that financial literacy and financial capability of you as a woman is very important during election too, so we encompassed all that, and then we started advocating and started creating this opportunity for women to a platform. That's why we say we're evolving. So it's nobody is so good. We have mentors and mentees in the groups, and we have professionals, and we have people that are achieved. We have politicians and non-politicians and aspiring politicians in the group. So what we've done is we created this platform and registered it, and then we are all over the world right now. We're in almost all the states in Nigeria. We are also in diaspora. We have a branch in the UK. We have the UK and Europe, and then we have a branch in the US and Canada. Of course, in Nigeria, they won't allow you register politics. So we registered Evolving Women in Progress and Community Development. So we've had a lot of programs so far, not including even reaching out medically to women, teaching them skills acquisition. But Nigeria is very vast. So we're doing it state by state. And by next month, we're going to be launching the main thing to the whole nation at the FCT. So we're hoping that people will believe in our vision and partner with us so that we can get this progressive. Unfortunately, Nigeria is getting more involved in gender equality. They are wisening up, because the way women has been maligned over the years, we are the ones that have the highest population to vote. They use us to do all the dancing, when politics is coming. We are the entertainers.
Yes.
They even look for us to do most of us that are fairy. They bring us forward to do all the talk, But in the long run, how many positions are awarded to us women? How many? And how many times has a woman come out and has gotten the support of men alike? So it's becoming a climate of men supporting men and thinking that women should take the second place. And the governance, they are not sincere. They say they want us to have 35% participation in governance and in leadership, even in some of the political parties. But that has not happened for the past 8 years. But luckily, lately, it was in the news. The House of Rep members and the Senate, they had a committee, or they sat down for a weekend, and they are ready to implement that specific positions in the state should give it to women. So that it's not like, oh, okay, if a woman runs against a man, they are ready. They said in each state, if there are 3 or 4 seats, at least 1 or 2 must specifically be designed for a woman for the House of Rep. If it's the House of it is the Senate, at least 1 or 2 must be designed for a woman for every state in the federation. And that's something we are waiting for.
I want to ask you a few questions so that
Yes.
the whole world will understand where you are coming from and where you are going to. The Nigerian culture, don't worry about the scratchy noise. I'm hearing the scratchy noise, but don't let it distract us.
You said the Nigeria what?
The Nigerian culture finds
Yes.
it difficult to bow down to a woman in politics. And I'm going to make myself very clear. When a lady, Patricia, was the Speaker of the House of Assembly, you remember her. Now,
Yes.
the gentlemen in the House of Representatives, before they left the chamber, you must bow, to the country. But they said they felt like they were bowing to a woman, and that was part of what made her to be removed as the Speaker of the House. How do we deal with such a culture that does not see the nation when you are leaving the house, the chambers, you bow, and then, but what they were seeing was Patricia Eke, that we are bowing before a woman. And within months, they removed her.
Well, all that is changing. That's what I'm saying. The more we advocate, the more we educate the men. Bowing to a woman when you're in a job does not mean the woman is superior to you. It's just that office is what you're bowing to. So what we are talking about is more education to people. Even if I bow to a man, I can only bow to God. But if a position that we're bowing to, not your person, not your personality, not your gender. And if a woman has worked so hard to get there, she deserves that too. But in a house where the percentage of women in that house at that time maybe just 2%, so who is going to fight her cause? You understand what I'm saying, sir? So the narrative will change as we get more women involved.
Okay, my second question.
Yes.
I want to be very clear with you. In Nigeria, Togu is a major part of winning elections, and it's not debatable. And we can quote
Yes.
as many people fighting and snatching boxes and all of that. How do you think women will be able to cope in such an unusual situation?
Yes. Well, that is part of the things that we're advocating for. We're not only talking to women, we're talking to our youth too. Because it's going to be difficult for me as a woman to want to go into election and I'm fighting another man who has engaged thugs to fight me. So what happens is I'm being intimidated not to show my face. So what we are doing and what we intend to continue to do, especially towards 2023, is not only to talk to women, but to talk to our youth, knowing that a mother is like even not the head, but controls the home. So if we can get our women, even in those villages, to try and further educate their sons or their kids, not to allow themselves to be used when election comes. What have they benefited? Once election is over, maybe they gave them money, gave them some arms in some cases, allegedly. That is all. When is election time again is when they look for them. So within that period and the time election comes again, these children are out in the streets causing havoc. So
Okay.
part of what we are doing is to advocate for that, so that it will be the climate, political climate will be decent enough for us to participate.
All right. We have on the platform Barrister Juliet, who is contesting as a councillor in Abuja. And she's listening to you on this program. I'm going to give her a chance to say something in a minute. What advice will you give a young lady like this trying to become a councillor in Abuja? Are you still with us, Chief, Mrs. Ralia?
Thank you very
Did you
much
hear
for
me?
this opportunity. Yes, I can. Good morning, ma'am.
Okay,
Good morning, sir, once again.
Good morning.
You can hear me, right?
go on. Yes, we
Yes.
can hear you.
Okay. So the advice I would give to a young lady who is coming out for politics is one thing first, know your onions, know what you're doing, be resourceful, that is, read and be enlightened. Also build capacity, because me being on the field today, what has actually made it a little easier is because I I actually put forth those things I know could have actually aided me against being exploited by people, especially other genders and even women too. Because when you're even talking to them, you have to tell them you are somebody, you're doing this. Like, I am a farmer, I keep telling them I'm also a legal practitioner. So I go to court. And so you have to be able to understand your terrain, that people want people that they can be able to listen to them. And you don't just come looking like you are desperate for their
For a
vote or
job.
something like that. You have to make them understand that you also, yes, you have to make them understand that there's the confidence that you can be able to lead. Nobody wants to give entrust their vote to somebody who they don't can't even lead his or herself, or your life is not organized. You have to exhibit a lot of management skills, a lot of wisdom, because handling people in the society, especially in the grassroots, you need a lot of wisdom. You need to even know when to bow, when to sit, when to smile, when to talk. All these things are important. So mannerism, courtesy, a lot of things that we take for granted are very, very much important, aside capacity. And look at today, we are being, okay, you've given me the opportunity to be on this platform talking about issues relating to the society. As a young lady coming out, how much are you well exposed about what's happening around the world? You don't just come out because you feel you want to be involved in politics, and then at the end of the day, when thrown, okay, even before now, we just left air, or the left on air. You have to tell the people that you have something upstairs, because for you to match up to those already there, you have to tell them you know what they know, and even better. Those things help. And also help to I also advise that young ladies should actually advocate to other young ladies by in love, because what I also did, I was able to get a lot of support from young people. Even my secondary school, I went to an all-girls secondary school. It's the manner in which you talk to people. Your social capital is very important. And those are the ones, in fact, even the program I just left on air, it was a lady, a young lady who is actually giving a quota to the system, who actually recommended me to someone. So we have to practice this love amongst ourselves, even as women. How do you raise the other lady beside you? How do you love her? How do you show her kindness? How do you show her how do you bring her? I don't know, there's this word I want to use. We need to love ourselves more as women for people to even believe in you, for young girls to even feel oh, why should I vote for this young person? Hope she doesn't have pride. Hope at the end of the day, because they feel women, we see ourselves as competition. That's just the truth. In the field, I've seen it more. You even see a lot of older women look down on the young ladies. Like, who is this one? Wait, she see how she's already even dressing. Look at how she's already equipped. Maybe she don't steal money, or maybe she's a prostitute. So with kindness and with love, you can be able to break this barrier by preaching, oh, mommy, I'm a girl like you, a 27-year-old, and this is the way. And you don't expect a young person to go and build classes, share money on the street, throw money around. We are doing this by telling and informing you things that we want to do better. So you need to know all these things. I call them the tools for the field, like the wisdom you use on the field. You don't just jump into politics. You need someone to guide you. And no one, funny enough, I had to learn from even the society how I was able to penetrate people, the young, the old, and the middle age. You need a lot of wisdom, because else they'll just think you're just ready to go and play, or ready to just go there and go and eat money. So all these things are very important. But most
I think
important
you,
thing,
you have made one important point, Barrister Juliet.
yes,
You've made this important point because you first of all need to win all the women on your side, and I'm going to make that very clear.
very true,
Madam
very true.
Jubrin was the one contesting for presidency in PDP with Jonathan many years ago. And of all the delegates, you know how many votes she got? One.
Just one, just one,
Just one. That's what she got.
just one,
So all the women in
just
that
one.
in that
Didn't even believe
convention,
in her.
they didn't believe
Didn't
in
even
her.
believe
So
in
you
her.
just have
So we
to
can't,
go.
I keep, exactly, and I keep on telling people, we cannot take it forcefully. You cannot tell the men to their faces that you want to be in politics because you feel marginalized. I keep on saying
Mm,
it, women, we need to come together and love ourselves. This
mm.
the barrier is too much. It's we think it's we should be saying it's stereotype. It's not. The stereotypes are existing. They are existing, and the only way I tell people how you can be able to break those barriers is through love, and it has helped me a lot. How I was able to enter into grassroots and be able to go this far was because I had to come humbly, make them understand that you are not in competition with it. It's not all easy, it's not all 100%, but you just have to try, because it's difficult when it comes to even women supporting themselves, and that's just the
Okay,
truth.
okay,
And
okay.
going
That's where
forward,
I want to ask you one more question before I go back to Chief Mrs. Ralia. Where do you get money from? If especially because you are not in APC or PDP, you are under ADC. I recognize it's a young party, and do you have somebody supporting you? One money bag? Do you have one rich man, one billionaire? Is Dangote behind you?
when I started, my journey is a very funny one. When I started with my phones, and
Mm,
ordinarily, I keep on thanking my secondary school classmates, the an all girls school. They saw the zeal, the fire was very. It's something that's influential. People were
mm,
keen to it when they see it. So I knew God had blessed me with that. So I kept on pushing, kept on pushing. But the first resources was mine, because I'm a fish farmer. I have a fish pond, and I'm a
mm,
legal practitioner. After coming out of the school, I didn't just go keep my certificate. I decided to practice from day one.
mm.
From day one, I had to invest in MBA, feeder, all the MBA platforms are key. I strategically keyed myself into it. Today now, the women there, if it's Juliet Ikaire, no, we know how we are seeing a fire, and those are the people that will bring it 10K, 5K, 3,000, 1,000, 2,000. Even the secondary school classmates will say, oh, Juliet, please, even if it's 2,000, let me support. So we need this thing. I think I actually was able to break free by starting first on my own, through my own capacity, and then telling the people that there's the zeal, there's a fire burning, and they keyed into it. And that's why today I'm still standing firm
All right,
by
thank
God's
you very
grace.
much. Let me go back to Chief Mrs. Raliat. You've had a Barrister Juliet, but when you are contesting for a big position in Nigeria, like Senate, like House of Reps, like the president, it doesn't come cheap. How do you want to support women to bring out monetary matters to back up the desire? On mute, please. On mute. Yeah. We still can't hear you. On mute, on mute. We can't hear you. On mute, please. On mute. Chief Mrs. Rylat, on mute.
Yes, I think it's your network.
Okay,
Um,
Dr. Osita is here. Dr.
Dr.
Osita,
Sita is with
you,
us.
you are hearing all the challenges facing the women in politics. Please, what will you
Yes,
have
I
to
am.
add? The cultural problem, the monetary problem, the thuggery problem. How do we resolve all these issues?
I think we have to start small. We have to start with the first step.
Mm,
Let's begin to bring ourselves to a position where we can be trusted. Women are a very good force in politics. You, Dr. Shegun, you know that already, all over the
mm,
world. But the point is that our culture, our experience, our resilience in the other direction makes it difficult for us to, to go in that direction. You raise the issue about bound to a woman. What is wrong with
mm.
that? What is wrong with that, for Christ's sake?
I
You
don't
just
know.
bow to the office. Forget that the
Mm,
woman is sitting down there. So yes, we need to start from somewhere. We need to start. You see, Dr. Shegun, you and I, we agree on one thing always.
mm,
Nigeria is going to be better tomorrow. Is talk. Nigeria is going to be better tomorrow. Is better when we do something about it. It's not just talking about it. What these women are doing now is fantastic. We just
yeah.
need to be sure that they are taking the right steps. They are, they are doing the right thing, and we support them. Believe me, if I have a better woman to rule Bendel State tomorrow, Delta State tomorrow, I will vote
Mm.
for her because that is what it takes. Take that chance on them and then see how far they can go. But if we remain like this, I see the way you detest money politics, but that is what we have inherited. For Christ's sake, we must find a way to let that go. And believe me, women will not do money politics.
Dr. Sita, I
Yes,
got to be level with you. There are 774 local governments in Nigeria. For you to
yes,
become the president of Nigeria, you must be
yes.
established in those 774 local governments. There are so many wards in each local government. There are going to be at least two representatives of a political party. Your political party is going to say, we don't have such money. Therefore, can you support us with money? Where do you want these women to get the money? I mean, we're being real now. I'm not
They don't
against
have to
you.
start with presidency. They don't have to start
Okay.
with presidency. They have to start
Okay.
with relevance. Come from
Okay.
where you are. Do something good. Somebody in Sokoto will be looking at you in Sapele to say, "Oh, so you did this for Delta." Maybe, just maybe, conscious it is done, and then you begin to move up. We're not looking for a woman president tomorrow. We're looking for a woman president who qualifies with time, but they have to start somewhere. For them to qualify with time, they have to invest now. And I'm happy that most of them are, and they're not taking no for an answer because I can
Okay.
hear
Can,
what the
can,
kids are saying.
can
Yes.
we inform these women leaders on the program, on our platform today, that they need to inform their own women not to receive Ankara and 200 naira. Chief Mrs.
No,
Ryland,
no, they know that. These ones here
are
today
you,
know that. The
are
way
you
they
going to
speak,
educate your women not to receive Ankara from politicians when they come?
I think they know that already. Go ahead. Go
Yes.
ahead, Chief. Her voice is still muffled.
I can't even hear at all.
Yeah, I can hear her too.
Chief, do something about your audio. We can't hear you.
Yes, let's listen to the barrister. If if
Okay,
if her voice,
barrister, how do you impress an Abuja lady who may vote for you or may not because he or she has received Ankara from your competitor from another party? They've been given Ankara and 200 naira. How do you tell them not to receive it? Barrister Juliet. Barrister Juliet, are you hearing me?
I think the network is becoming a problem everywhere.
I think when you get there into office, Barrister Julian, Chief Rylat, you have to do something about the Nigerian network. That should be your first job.
Absolutely, absolutely. We are looking forward to that too.
Juliet, are you hearing me now?
She
Are you
can't.
hearing me?
Okay.
There's a network problem.
She's smiling, but she's not.
Selection will be. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I
Yes,
can hear you now.
Yes, I can hear you very well.
go ahead.
Okay, the question is, how do you tell other young women
But
not to receive
yes, but can you hear
Ankara
me?
from
Can you hear
politicians?
me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, very well. Very well. I can hear you very well.
Oh,
Wow.
okay, okay. Do you want me to
Okay,
repeat the
okay.
question?
So I
You
say
want me to
you were
repeat?
asking how do I convince a yes.
Go on, go on. Yes, that's the question.
First of all, yes. First of all, I start by telling them that over time they've never had a woman represent them in Kubwa ward, and when I wait for them to respond, they say no. Then I ask them the issues really. I can hear the
Dr. Sita.
question.
Okay,
Yes.
go on. We're listening to you.
No, I'm
We
hearing
can
you.
hear you.
I'm
Continue talking.
responding.
Dr. Sita, walk straight
Yes.
to the office of the president and tell him to do something about the network. I know you can
I,
do it.
I will. I will knock on his door tomorrow. I will knock on tomorrow is Thursday.
And I'm
Tomorrow
serious.
is my visiting day with him. Yes.
I mean,
And
Tomorrow is my visiting day with
Dr.
Mr. President.
the funny thing
yes,
about the Nigerian network is the
yes,
service providers work very well in other countries of the world.
yes.
MTN is in the UK,
You want to hear the truth?
but when they come to Nigeria, they,
You
they,
want to hear?
they
You
bring
want
a
to hear the
very
truth,
different
my
service.
Godwin?
They bring
Okay.
something else. Go ahead, sir. Dr. Sita, yes.
It's all politics. The point is that the service providers walk to the offices of the people in control and make them gifts. The kind of gifts they cannot say no to. Instead of the art phones, perpetual subscription to their networks. So
Then
they
what happens to the
oversubscribe.
masses?
Eh?
What happens to the
To what?
masses that needs the masses?
We
that
don't
need-
have masses now. We are trash. Come on now. My Godwin, Nigeria has been trashed a long time ago. Nobody cares about us. Let's stop pretending. All we're saying now is that we're looking for something better. So let's next election become the first step towards something better. But for now, we're dead.
Well,
See,
we just have to be honest with
I have two
ourselves, isn't
phones.
it?
I have two
Well,
phones. The network
Go
is
ahead.
not working.
Let him say it, Dr. Shaki. Let him say what he's saying. It's good.
So
when
by
the
the end of
network-
the day, who are we? We are Nigerians being trampled upon by our brothers who are in high offices that don't care. They don't care. So the only thing they care about is to be able to find more money to stay on that high horse, take their kids out of the environment and bonus them more. We can't keep doing this. We can't keep doing this. The point I am trying to see, I was speaking with Godwin last week. If we cannot change this, who will? We have to change it from within. There's nobody coming from outside to do it for us. Nobody.
Let me ask
And let people
Ambassador
stop
Nat.
talking about Nigeria is going to be good tomorrow, doing nothing about it. Nigeria can be good
Let
tomorrow
me
if you do
ask
nothing about it.
Ambassador Nat what he thinks we can do. We have a Chief Riley back. Just a moment, madam. Now, Ambassador Nat, you have worked with the government before. You see the challenges we are facing. We have brilliant people. We have brilliant people like Chief Mrs. Riley Abisalam. We have brilliant people who are younger, like Barrister Julius. But we don't have the structure, the systematic, the system structure is not there. The platform is not there. We just want to talk to them. These are brilliant ideas coming out from Nigeria. But when we don't have the structure to communicate, then what's the essence of a nation? Ambassador Nat?
Well, the challenge we have is more of an ecosystem challenge. We are in a system that really was not established for the ordinary man on the street, as Dr. Sita has said. the system is so structured that you don't the environment is not suitable for any meaningful life. And you notice that we have this recycled politicians since 1960.
That's
When
even before
when
60, they're still there.
when they seem to be getting old, they recruit their children, their relations, or their messengers who are with them in the office. And penetrating or breaking through is almost an impossible thing, especially when it comes to the type of politics that is being played in Nigeria. The issue of vote buying, the issue of you can bribe your way through or rig your way through. And if you don't have these basic facilities and you don't have basic access, you are not going anywhere. And
Mm.
this is what is going on. This is what is going on.
Yes.
Let,
And
if Mrs. Rylat can answer me, Chief Mrs. Rylat, how do you stop your husbands? I mean, I'm talking of a generic form. How do we stop the men from taking bribes? Like we have been told, like we know that many of these men they are corrupt, they take bribe, and therefore ordinary communication structure we could not get. Ordinary road from Lagos to Ibadan, we cannot get in 16 years. We cannot get in 16 years. Ordinary road, the railway transport is a lot of money compared with what they do in Ghana, the same terrain. How do we stop these men, fathers, husbands, brothers from taking bribe and destroying our structure? Yes, women. Yes, Chief Mrs. Ryland. Can you
I'm
hear
not
Hello,
talking.
good
me?
afternoon. Good morning once again. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes. Go ahead.
Unfortunately, I did not hear all the things that have been said, but I want
I'm going to repeat
to do
my
a
I'm
recap.
going to
Maybe it's
repeat my
about money
question.
politics. Yes,
I want to repeat the question. It is a well-known fact
yes.
that most of the men in politics and in government they take bribe, and therefore the infrastructures are not there. What are we going to do? What are the women going to do to stop the men from taking bribes?
Okay. This is what I heard, that most of the men in politics are incompetent. And
Mhm.
what are the women going to do better?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. You see, when we had the first republic, we had the second republic. By the time politics came in, a lot of our intellectual men did not get involved.
Mm,
At that time, they were not interested in politics.
mm,
They did not understand the hold in which politicians we have over the nation in making laws. By the time the intellectuals woke up to it, the economy of the country was already in shambles. That's the first thing that happened. When the military were leaving and politics was introduced, the smart men, they were doing their own private thing. They looked at politics as so dirty, they don't want to get involved. So the few that got involved, I'm not going to be rude here by saying maybe semi-illiterates, I'll be semi-literate, not really the smart ones in that generation. So what we now have is the intellectuals are now finding out that these are the ones that make the laws. These are the ones that are ruling us, and it started affecting even their own personal businesses that hinder them to go into politics. So now we now have intellectuals wanting to come in, and then we have some people in the system who don't want the intellectuals to take over. So that's the state. So I won't really say our men are incompetent. When we introduced politics the second time around, what we saw was a thug that didn't go to school automatically becomes a billionaire because he's getting a largesse from a politician. So we now saw a system or a community where the people that know how to do are almost in the hands of people that don't know nada. So what would the women do differently? Because it is already a highly competitive field, political climate in Nigeria. So you would hardly find a woman who does not know her onions fighting for an office. Like Barrister Juliet said, that nobody can come on top as a woman and just assume that you'll be relevant. The few women that have been given opportunities, you need to see the kind of background they have before the men will even consider them for positions. Look at the few ministerial appointments that were made so far in Nigeria and the kind of background these women put on the table. No mediocre woman has been given an opportunity. It doesn't matter your political relationship. You must have scaled through some kind of intellectual background. I'm not talking about elected offices here. I'm talking about appointments. So already, a woman has to work double hard to get those opportunities. What we're
Okay,
just
I want to ask
asking for
you.
is
I want to ask
widen that
you
reach. Let more women
a
get
question,
it.
ma'am. I'm going to ask you a question because you are a matured woman. The
Yes.
Nigerian politics has been beset with bribery and corruption. Can
Yes.
the women in politics help us challenge men from taking bribes right from the presidency down to the councillor? This is our problem. If you women can help us challenge the men and say, look, bribery will kill all of us. Is it possible you challenge men in politics?
Oh, okay. The bribery.
Yes.
Okay. Now, there are two forms of bribery. Are you saying bribing for us to vote you in, or bribery in the system, in the Nigerian system of doing
In the
things?
system, you want to construct a
Well,
road instead
it's a
of $1
tough call
million,
because
they take
can
$10
tell
million.
you,
Mm,
I can tell you, all of us are culpable.
mm.
When you talk of corruption and bribery, every Nigerian is culpable. It doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. The system has encouraged that. It's just a few people. If you got, let me just give you the simplest example. You want to process a file in a ministry. That is
Yeah.
number one. You're already thinking ahead. Let me give somebody 5K so they will make my own faster. So
Mm.
corruption and bribery is in our everyday lives because of our impatience and because the system is not right. So I don't think it's a male or a female issue. I think it's a general issue. So we all have to start enlightening ourselves and start to eradicate it from all our systems, from the grassroots up. All our systems are corrupt and it encourages bribery. So it's not really a man issue or a female issue. I'm not. So bribery is not gender based. Maybe it is caused by the situation we all find ourselves where our salaries cannot take care of our needs and where there's no baseline. The government does not provide any baseline for people that are unemployed, for the poor in the society, unlike in developed countries where you are, where if you don't even have a job, the government can provide accommodation and feeding and all that. So I won't put bribery as gender based. I think it's all about for us, and we need
Okay.
to start. And we can start from the grassroots from our
Okay.
youth now, because from
Okay.
me upwards, it's going to be a difficult task to correct.
Yes. Barrister Juliet, let me come to you before I go to Dr. Osita and Ambassador now. Now, how do you intend to stop corruption, bribery as a woman in politics? We have listened to Chief Mrs. Raleigh, but corruption in judiciary is even the worst of it all because judiciary is supposed to be the one that will solve the last line. And if the judiciary is corrupt, then we are all in trouble. So, how do women come into politics now, which we are encouraging? How do they intend to stop men and women from bribery and corruption? How?
First of all, I would say women in elective offices or appointed positions can become more audacious and trying as much as possible to save his or herself from what's happening around her, and holding those people under you or above you accountable. I think the thing that we lack is this courage to speak. We lack the courage, we lack the determination, and it's seen in. So I will speak from the youth angle. If we can become more audacious and courageous and not fearing for our lives, because a lot of people say before what happened on the 20th, of October 2020 happens again, they try as much as possible to be quiet. How much people talk about what's happening in the system. So one needs a lot of courage to be able to know what's the budget, hold those people in positions, if it's the executive, accountable, just like what the Senate do or the House of Representatives. They set up committees, just that these committees, they still end up taking money again to close their mouths, not to be able to hold the government accountable. So it's more of an individual thing. And most importantly, we need to change our mindset as a people so we can have a high rate of right-thinking members of the society. Just like Chief has said, she also said a lot of people are corrupt in the society. Now, if we can have a high rate of right-thinking members of the society, it will enable courageous people thrive in leadership positions, because you know that somebody's not telling you, and because she never see, that's why she's talking like this. So even when you are talking, you still see even the masses discourage you from even opening up. They are even the ones that talk you down and make you feel like what you're saying is worthless. Like I said, I just finished from a radio show. Even when you are telling the people what is happening, they are telling you when the person get there, they're not even waiting for you to even tell them that point. They've clouded their mindset to anything that is coming again. So it's a mindset thing. How we continue to orientate people is what can actually make people that are disciplined and principled thrive in leadership positions. Because for me, I feel there's a voice, but I pray it doesn't get shut down by people who don't want to hear it. Like if the masses are more that don't want to hear it, then there's a problem, and this will keep us shut, because you don't want to be talking and somebody does not want to listen. It's very painful.
Thank you, Dr. Barrister Juliet. Dr. Sita, then I'll go to Ambassador Nat. Dr. Sita, now, when we're talking of bribe here, we're talking of big, big money. Of course, there is the bribe of 5,000, 10,000, but there's the bribe that stops the Lagos Ibadan highway for 16 years, and they're spending on unthinkable amount of millions of dollars to complete 100-mile road, where we have seen them complete it in many other places, not only in Europe but in Africa. With the latest we've been told is that China is not lending us money because we have padded the amount of money for the railway from Maradi to Daura and the rest. We've been told that money have been padded, budgets have been padded. We're talking of big money here, which is affecting hospitals, education, infrastructures. Now, women want to come, and I support them 100%. How do we make sure that women now start talking in their various areas to say, look, it's not going to be business as usual. We want all these public stealing to stop. Is there a way? I mean, I'm trying to look for solution now. Maybe these women can help us out. I'm saying so because of Dora Aquili. Dora was a woman who came from nowhere to become the head of NAFDAC and stopped illegal drug manufacturing, and called in the big pharmaceutical companies in Nigeria, called them to a meeting and told them that they were giving partially fake drugs. Their paracetamol was not complete paracetamol. They were 50% paracetamol, 50% chalk. And she told them all, and I'm talking of big name pharmaceutical companies, and I have records for it. Dora Aquili told them off and said, I will ban you from Nigeria if you try any such nonsense. Dora Aquili was the only one who became a minister, and minister who came out to say there is a cabal running this country. And because of that, dead Yaradua was exposed and the new government came up. Can these women become Dora Aquili in the next life we're looking for? Dr. Sita.
Sure.
Okay, there were two questions there. One is about bribery and one is about capacity of the women. I don't have doubts about the capacity of women. I was raised by my mother, and I came out well. I came out very well, without doubts. The issue of bribery is not even the size of the money, it's the intention. Dr. Shegun, if you can take bribe of 5,000 naira, you can take 5 trillion. What we have in Nigeria is the truth that our capacity, our propensity to steal cannot be compared. You'll be surprised at the fact that people are not scared of money. People are not scared of the amount of money they steal from places. Why you're looking at 10,000 as being one big money stolen from a small primary school somewhere in Nigeria. Somebody is willing to take 2 billion on
Without
Monday,
flinching. Mm.
2 billion on Monday, 2 billion on Tuesday, 2 billion on Wednesday, 2 billion on Thursday, and then by Friday we say, okay, maybe I make it 3 billion, and go home and come back the next week and keep stealing again.
No.
That is our problem. And then you're asking yourself, what are they doing with this money? They are walking to death. Because most times when this money becomes too much, it draws the evil path. But nobody talks about that. Okay, give me an example now of this our extremely rich people that are in good shape. Let's be honest about it. In the past, now, and maybe for tomorrow. There's none of them. Because if they tell you their story, Dr. Shego, if you hear what these rich men's children are doing on the streets. So, to answer your question, bribery is the same thing. The only way out of bribery is to be self-contented. That's every religion preaches it. I'm not talking about Christianity or Islam now. Just go back to your roots and say to yourself, this is who I want to become because my country needs me. That's one. Two, also tell yourself that always remember that any money you're stealing now will come back to you. I am a student of Kama philosophy. It's in the Bible. It's in the Quran. Anything you reap,
you sow.
Then three, can we be humble enough to see our country as our country, everybody? Because people who are stealing now are stealing us to death. This country might not exist tomorrow. And then about women, I pray that we give women a chance to try. Because when they do, like Dora did, we will see the difference.
Oh, thank you so much. Ambassador Nat, you hear the trend of this discussion today. This was not a plan, but these women, they have challenged us, and we just have to say this one. Ambassador Nat, now, it is not news that the Nigerian system, like Chief Mrs. Ryla said, that the system is corrupt. And it's a shame when the system itself is corrupt, which means no matter how clean you are, when you enter the system, you will be made to think corrupting one another. So Ambassador Nat, do you see anything we can do? Where do we start from? Especially when it's really facing us in our education, in our communication, infrastructures, business environment is zero because you can't transport goods from Lagos to Kaduna without armed robbers, without potholes. What do? We have to be honest with ourselves.
I think we have a major challenge with our the value system, value orientation, because people have different reasons for doing things they do, and it sometimes really not ignorance. Sometimes they know the right thing to do, but they do the wrong thing for obvious reasons. And and then the issue of our leadership recruitment system. People, there are no background checks, and there are no self checks, even as individuals. And so the system keeps going down and down and down, and nobody seems to care. Nobody is worried. Nobody is concerned as to what individual actions, consequences, or impact on the larger society. So we are in a society that there are no individual visions, no national visions. Individuals don't even care whether the roof will collapse tomorrow. They are more concerned about living one day at a time. And so the challenges don't really seems to care, and the issue of our value system being based on money, because money has become a god. People worship money. People do what we call primitive accumulation of wealth, which at the end becomes useless to even themselves or their environment. So we find ourselves in a quagmire, and nobody seems to care as
Okay,
to.
I'm going to ask you a question. In the country where you live, the United Kingdom, there are punitive measures for those who steal public funds. Whether you are the prime minister, you are the deputy prime minister, or you are an MP, punitive measures. You are going straight to jail. A few years ago, two members of the parliament were jailed for stealing £2,000, wrongly declaring £2,000 not Yakwa. Why are there no punitive measures in Nigeria? People like Ojikalu, they came back to the community. People who have been put into prison, they came back into the community. They use legal technicalities to get out of stealing issues. Why are punitive measures not working in Nigeria?
We don't have an established system in which to enforce, or we are not even ready to enforce our laws. Instead, you are rewarded for bad behavior, and you want to behave worse the next time and still be rewarded. And so it goes back to, we don't have a national value system, or even a subnational system where it is working. Instead, you have sometimes triple standards, not even double standards, different set of rules for different people, and that's the challenge we have. There is no discipline, no accountability, and nothing.
Let me ask the same question from Mark, who lives in Italy. Now, I know you live in London, England, but Mark Godwin lives in Italy. How do punitive measures operate in your country, where Berlusconi was once your prime minister, and there are so many challenges he faced through, and he went through the judicial system? Tell us more about punitive measures, because if there are punitive measures, they will set as a boundary. You know you are caught, you are in serious trouble. But in Nigeria, you are caught, you will bribe your way through. So how do punitive measures settle this matter?
Yes, very good dialogue. Before I answer, also, a lot of comments are coming in from the section, and a lot of people are asking questions too. The program is turning out very well. We are putting out what we didn't plan. This wasn't the initial arrangement, but it's really going well, and we have reactions too, good ones.
When women are involved, some new things will start.
Yes, I think the women are the one attracting the very strong audience. There are audiences there. Questions,
Yeah.
Chief Rylat. Later, we'll put it to her. Yes, sir. We are digging deep.
Punitive measures.
Yes.
Why are punitive measures not working in Nigeria? Tell us about punitive measures
Yes,
in
punitive
Europe.
in Europe, it's very effective. You don't get away with anything here. I mean, here leadership is open. Is there's nothing hidden. You see, Nigeria has a long way to go, and we are learning. We are copying democracy from the West, but you see, we are not copying it the right way. We are copying. I don't know the style we are copying. We're not. It's not as it is what we have here in the West. In the West, democracy is real democracy. People, the leaders, the politicians live up to expectation. They are put into check if they go wrong. They are court-martialed. They are jailed. Everything happens. Nobody cares about anybody. Your status doesn't remove you from punitive measures. You face the law when you break it. But in Nigeria, I mean, we have people like Ibori still walking tall. Ibori is still controlling Nigeria politics in Delta State. Imagine that, upon all the crime and everything we have about him. But he's still he's still calling the shots in Delta State. That's Ibori. We have
Okay, let me ask the man from Delta State.
Yes.
Why is punitive measure not side in side with morality values? For instance, if you have been caught and sent to prison, you cannot contest election in Europe anymore. But in Nigeria, you come out of the jail and you say they lied against you, and they are ready to put you up again in every facet of life. No shame, no morality. Why are ethical values not even matching up to punitive measures.
We don't understand values.
Wow.
We don't get it. We don't understand values. So everybody talks about it. We mouth it all the time. You hear people talk about values. Watch them. Walk behind them. They are dropping trash on the floor. They are they are chasing people's wives. We don't get it. The point is everything connects. Everything connects. If as a father I receive my salary and my wife comes to me to say, give me money for food for the children, and I beat her up and then go give the money to a girlfriend, I am trash. So you imagine me walk into politics and I find big money, I will steal it. So what normally happens is this: if they don't steal big and they go to jail, they are done. So they steal so big, close down the entire state, go to jail, come out, and begin to run that state all over again. Ojukalo is doing it in Abia. Everybody is doing it in Delta. So anytime, people don't like me because I'll say it to your face that you don't impress me, no matter how much money you have.
We saw the party. We saw the party Ibori through about 2 weeks ago. All the big names in Nigeria were there.
Absolutely. Do you know why? Because they're all apprentices. They want to see how he did it so that they can replicate. When they are shaking hands and hugging him, they are whispering to his ears, oh boy, this is your style. I like him more. Tell me, he is a godfather.
Wow. I want to quickly ask Chief Mrs. Ryland. I'm looking at the time, Dr. Osita. I'm looking at the time. Chief Mrs. Ryland, please, I'm sorry to ask you this question. How can wives inform their husband, let us live within our means, instead of their husbands who are at big positions to steal money, to defraud the nation? Is there a place the Nigerian wife can tell the husband, look, if our children cannot go to private school because we don't have the money, don't let us steal? Do you think it's possible? Yes, mommy.
Very tough question. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
That's a very tough question because okay. You asked that how can the wives help their husbands? I mean,
yes.
Their means. What are the means, my brother? The lowest income bracket in Nigeria, I think, is 30-something K.
It's 30,000 or below.
It was 18,000 for a long time, and they just made it 30-something thousand. And that is barely 50 pounds. You are in the UK. Can you live on 50 pounds for a month?
No, madam, no.
Okay, fine. What are the things available for me as a wife and a man if we want to train our kids? The public school system is completely eroded. I don't mind getting my children to public schools. Let's assume the system is working. The system has failed us. So now everybody has to live above their means to send their child to school. The people that put their kids in public schools is because they don't have a choice. If they have a choice, they will look for a private school where they know that their child's interests will be better taken care of. Okay, look at the cheaper girls. Look at all these kidnappings that were done. Most of those schools were government schools. There wasn't enough security to protect your children because you don't have the money to take them to a bigger school where there will be security. So there's a problem. The system has failed. Education failed. Health failed. Where is the cushion for me as a wife and my husband to manage within our means? These are the things that cause the corruption and the bribery. So it takes a lot to be brave in this country. How many people are ready to suffer for that bravery? It takes a lot because you're sitting down here, you are earning 36 or 40,000 a month, you are married with a child. That 40,000, transportation has eroded it. Transportation to and fro from your office. Then how are you going to eat? How are you going to clothe? And how are you going to feed the child? Or if you take the longer route, say you won't marry until you start making money, you might end up never marrying. So I don't know how we'd advise a woman. Alternatively, most homes, what they are doing is getting to do handwork. Set out and do handwork, which my organization is helping women for, so they can supplement the income in the house. Let's empower you. Let's teach you a skill. that can increase your home, your income in your home, so you support the man and be able to survive in this economy. So those are the kind of measures we can do privately, but the blame is actually on the government. There's
Okay,
nothing we
thank
can
you.
do. When you start electing women, we will change the narrative. Don't worry, sir. Elect us.
Yeah,
Look for some
because
of us that are okay.
we can easily give the example of Dora Akunyili, Patricia
Yes.
Eke. We can give those two examples, but beyond that one, we need people on the women in the upper echelon and to put their foot down. I recall a woman, Professor Mrs. Jadesola Akonde. She was very effective. She was the former vice chancellor of Lagos State University, professor of law. She did her bit. She put her foot down. She did so many work. There are women who have done wonderful things. But of course, we need them to come and challenge the men in the area of bribery and corruption. They must
Yes.
challenge them. Dora did it. She paid for it. Her husband paid for it. But we will never forget them. Look at Dr. Adadevo. She died for the whole country. But I'm not sure Nigeria is recognizing what Adadevo did for all of us. Let me call in Barrister Juliet, a lady who is contesting this weekend. Barrister Juliet, I want to give you the floor. What are you going to do for Abuja? Because you are going to be the next councillor. If those people do not take Ankara, go on. What will you be doing? We want to hear your manifesto.
Okay. What I'll be doing differently when I become councillor of Kubwa Ward is first of all to hold the executive accountable for various projects in which will be distributed across borders, but most importantly for Kubwa Ward, because this is why, as a councillor, you have to represent the people and they'll make recommendations, even if their budgets or whatsoever policy is bringing into the house, into the council for approval, to make sure that we follow up. We don't just allow supervisory councillors, in quotes, as they usually say, to just siphon monies or go and pad budgets in order to collect, because actually the National House of Assembly is responsible for this buzzing when it comes to FCT. And that's why there's just one particular person who has been in charge. I know it's not going to be easy, especially being he's an elder and there are big people above me right now. And now it has to challenge me to talk, and I have to talk with so much wisdom and facts on the table. So I will actually have to push myself beyond what has been done before to make sure that we are holding them accountable as lawmakers in the council. And then situations whereby the issues within our purview, I will make sure we bring them to the council, make recommendation, push for bills, and make sure we pass them.
We wish you all the best, Barrister Juliet. I wish that the best candidate should win. I'm not listening to others, but as I'm listening to you, I wish I had a vote. You have my vote already. And I wish you all the best. We'll be asking for the results when they come out. Ambassador Nat, in less than 30 seconds, what are the presidential candidates not doing? I'm going to give everybody 30 seconds because of the time. What should they be doing? What are they not doing? In 30 seconds, then I go to Dr. Osita. What should they be saying and they are not saying? Then I go to Chief Mrs. Rylat and Mark Godwin. In 30 seconds, what are they supposed to be telling us, but they are not telling us?
Well, I think it's not even yet time for anybody to tell us what they are supposed to do, because there's a timetable, there's a timing for them to tell Nigeria what their manifesto is. The INEC hasn't released the timetable because the electoral law is still stuck in the villa. It has not been signed. And so anybody...
So why are they telling us that they want to be president when they don't tell us the manifesto?
Well, some of them, they say it's a lifetime ambition. So if it's
so no agenda for that ambition.
No.
All right. All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Osita. The presidential lineup. We've not ever had anybody say this is what I will do. Is that the right way to go?
Because they are following the bandwagon effect. People just want to get there and sit there and do what the last person has done. There is no president that I see now, no candidate that I see now that will do differently than PMB. None. Yet.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yet. There is none. Because Dr. Shegun, it's politics of compromise. If
Wow.
15 people, if 15 people sponsor you to get the seat, you must pay back to 15, no dime less. So you have to go borrowing. You have to keep borrowing. You have to keep
So you
borrowing.
can't
Do all
promise
the things
any
that you want to do.
manifesto.
Yes, or you will be in trouble. Permanently
Okay.
in trouble.
Okay. Let me ask Mark quickly. Mark in Milan, you are an Italian now. So what are they doing that is not right?
Um, what will the new presidential candidates do? Is the
Yes.
question. Yes.
Yes.
There is a big one coming, and that's Mogalu, Kingsley Mogalu. You see, what we've
Okay.
had is that we've had politicians, leaders that are not, they've never handled um, business. I mean, our
Mm,
president has never handled business. He's been handling farming. He's been
mm,
handling cow rearing. That's not business. We're talking of inside house negotiation, inside house boardroom discussion. We're talking of managing people, resources. We're talking of bringing
mm.
making money, turnouts. None of these our leaders have those experience. So that's why they fail, because they are not businessmen. They don't understand the rudiments of business. So,
Question,
okay,
quick question. Can Kingsley Mogalu distribute Ankara? Because those are the ones going to vote.
no, we're not doing that.
Oh,
ADC
okay. All right then.
doesn't
Okay
believe in
then. Okay
believe.
then. How about Chief Mrs. Rylat? I just want to ask her 30 seconds.
Yes.
Chief Mrs. Rylat, please. What do you want to hear from the new presidential candidate? What do you want to hear from the new presidential candidate in 30 seconds?
Okay.
Okay, I think she has
We
network
can't
problem.
hear you.
No, it's her
Network,
network.
network
Yes.
Oh,
crisis.
okay, network. Okay,
Yes.
Barrister Juliet, in 20 seconds, what do you want to hear from the presidential candidates?
Okay, what I would like to hear from the presidential candidates is that they are the feasible measures they can be able to use to address issues in the society. Maybe they can be able to project these measures, look for how best they can tackle it, because that will be what will be their selling point. Other than that, it will be like they are just repeating what old ones or the people in the past have done before. So what I feel they should be doing now, go and do your fact finding about how you can tackle various issues relating to the society.
Can I post my vote to you, Juliet? I just want to post it from here to you. Well, that's how far we can go today. It's my job to thank you, Chief Mrs. Rylat Abdul Salam, to thank you, Barrister Juliet Iyazere. I want to thank you, Ambassador Nat Iyakwo. Really want to thank you, Dr. Osita Adiemeka, and all the way from Milan, Italy, Mark Godwin. I want to thank you all and the host of crew in Italy who have made this possible. We'll be back your way next week. Now we have News Echo and News Echo Extra, where we go into in-depth discussion and see how we can help Nigeria, Africa, and indeed the rest of the world. My name is Shegun Johnson. Until next week, God bless you and bye-bye.